at this time, I'm going to introduce my first guest again. That's on my right here, sitting in the studio with me, which is Veatrice Farrell. I think Veatrice is either the organizer, or she's the secretary, or she's something really, really big with this organization, Deuces Live. So I'm going to let her tell you what Deuces Live is about right here. Those that are listening right in the great city of Saint Petersburg. If you know what a Deuces is, then just shout out. Amen. Anyway, we're going to have Beatrice come before us right now. Tell us what is happening on the Deuces Live.
Thank you very much, Princess Denise, for the invitation to the radio program. And I am Veatrice Farrell, and I'm the program manager for the Deuces Live.
I knew it was something important.
I wouldn't say important. I'm the staff person. Deuces Live is a 501c3 organization, and it's organized as a Main Street. Main Streets are a direct result of a program started by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. It's a national organization, and their focus is on revitalizing downtowns throughout the United States. What Saint Petersburg has with respect to the Deuces Live, and our boundaries are on, we're 22nd Street. It's an effort to revitalize the once bustling commercial corridor, and one of the bustling corridors in the African American community before integration / segregation, in the I-275 corridor. So the focus is on bringing business and commerce and art and culture and heritage which is already there, expanding what's there, and making sure that people know that it's an exciting place to live, work, and play.
Well, Beatrice, I have a couple of questions for you. On 22nd Street South, since you're the program coordinator, how many businesses is it on 22nd Street?
There are, in our business association, and we sort of, our boundaries are roughly First Avenue South to 18th Avenue South. We include a business that's on 23rd 22nd and 22nd Street South. There's approximately 62 businesses. And there's been a lot of activity with new businesses moving in, and we always want to give a shout out to the businesses that have been there for years.
Well, let's give a shout out to them. What are some of the businesses? Blue
Star Cab has been there for, I think, about 27 years. Lorraine's Fish House has been there about 22 years. We have Parker Financial has been there about 17 years. Advantage Village Academy has been there about 17 years. Okay. Esquire Barbershop, which we think is the longest running business on 22nd Street, has been there with the current owner, Tony Macon, about 15 years. But prior to that, Mr. Jones owned it. I think Tony's had it 7 years. Okay. Mr. Lawrence Jones owned it, but he actually had Esquire Barbershop before the interstate went through 22nd Street. So we think that's the longest standing business there. And Carter's Floors on 22nd and 22nd Avenue South and 22nd Street has been there for a while too. Is that
considered a part of?
We include them. They're on 22nd and 22nd. How could we not?
Okay, yes. Right, and that is something. 22nd Avenue and 22nd Street. Yeah, right at the corner. Yes. So what's going on the Deuces right now? I heard about some kind of event goes on every Thursday. What is that about?
That is one of the many activities on the Deuces Live put on by businesses and individuals on 22nd Street. They call it Thursday, Soul on the Deuces. So there's an...
what do they call it again?
Thursdays. Thirsty Thursdays.
Oh, Thirsty
Thursdays. Thirsty Thursdays. Soul on the Deuces. So that's one of the many events that goes on every Thursday. It's probably started in Saint Patrick's Day, actually, which was a Thursday. And some people were sitting around drinking at Deuces Barbecue, which sells beer. And some of the beer that they sell is sold by Three Daughters Brewery, which is on First Avenue and 22nd Street South. You'll notice that I'll slide in.
Okay.
Right there on the corner is Cheese Creole, Gallery 909, Deuces Barbecue people. That's where it sort of started. You know, Annie's Beauty Supply is right across the street. I think I'm getting most of them. So now there are people are they have a party every Thursday. There are vendors there. And when you ask about what's going on in Deuces tonight, the museum, Dr. Carter G. Woodson Museum, is having a birthday party to honor Buster Cooper, who passed away earlier this week. So
Did he really?
yeah.
Oh,
So
I only met him one time.
so if you're within the sound of my voice, make sure you make it down to the Carter G this evening. I think it's 5 to 7 or 7 to 9. But if you get there early and it hasn't started, you can go over to eat at Cheese Creole or Deuces Barbecue.
Cheese Creole, yes.
Or Lorraine's.
Yes.
She's open till 6. So
I think he was at least in his 80s or 90s, right?
great jazz
Musician.
jazz
Yes.
musician, yes. But actually, the reason I came to talk on the program was we, with our partners at the Royal Theater and the Boys and Girls Club, are starting a summer movie series. The Deuces Live Main Street was awarded a mini grant from the city of Saint Petersburg for a book and a movie. And so what we're going to be doing is having movies at the Royal, which if you can hear
The
me, you
Royal
hear
Theater,
which
yes.
you may or may not know was pre-segregation. There was one of 2 theaters that African American people could attend, and right now it's the only standing one. So that's part of what Main Streets do, is to revitalize the area, and you sort of focus on what it used to be. So right now it's a Boys and Girls Club, and they're sharing the space so we can show movies in there. So if and we got a license from MPAA, the Motion Picture Licensing Corporation, and the kind of license that we got allows us to show movies at the Royal, but we can't say what the movies are. So, but we can send you an email. So if you're on our email list or you join our Facebook page, we can tell you what the movie is. But if we do a book and a movie, we can tell you that we're going to be reading the book. We have a community partner, Keep St. Pete Lit, and the Bluebird Bus, which provides books. It's a nonprofit that's focused on literacy. So we may be able to tell you what the book is, and so you can. The book is, say we were showing Walter Mosley's Devil in a Blue Dress. Say, for example, we were showing that. We would say, come by or buy Devil in a Blue Dress, and then you would know what the movie is.
Possibly now.
But some of the books won't be necessarily associated with the movie. So please like us on Facebook or send us an email at Deuces Live St. Pete Main Street. That's STPET Main Street at gmail.com, or go to our website and send us an email and ask to be put on the mailing list. And
So let me make sure I have this straight, Veatrice. There's no charge cost to come.
The movies are free and open to the public. We probably will ask for a donation of $2 because it's the Deuces, so we're trying to run with that theme too.
Okay. That's right. That's good. That's good. That's good.
And just some things are upcoming. Recently we started this campaign, 22nd on 22nd. So every 22nd of the month, we'd ask people to come out and support a business that you hadn't been on 22nd Street before.
Yes.
Think when it gets to, we want to make it easy for people to remember, on the 22nd of every month, make sure you come down to the Deuces and support a business. We'll have a little A-frame outside that says, 22nd on the 22nd. So there are a lot of exciting things happening on 22nd Street. Businesses are moving in. People who've been there for years are being rediscovered. They're like Johnny Ruth Clark has been there for years, the Old Mercy site.
Yes.
And we have a lot of churches that are in the area that people continue to come to. So sometimes in the broader community, they don't think that Deuces, they forgot what was there. But I think people in our community have always supported 22nd Street. They just, the way we're starting to remind them how they support it, because if you come to church on 22nd Street, then you're supporting church. 22nd Street.
Yes,
so now you
yes.
can, when you go to church, you don't have to leave the corridor to get something to eat. So you don't have to.
Okay, now are you all still having activities on Sunday?
No, the market is going to be relaunched shortly. We did a program in January where we reached out to the Black Farmers Association, and we were able to compile a directory of black farmers in Florida, just some of them, in an effort to encourage our community to eat healthy. And actually, farming is a career opportunity that we may have forgotten about. And farmers do well. It's very hard work. it's very lucrative if you are selling the right crop. So that's an opportunity that we may have forgotten. Being in an urban area, you don't see a lot of farming because there's not, Pinellas as a county is 89-90% built out. It's something to consider as we talk to our returning citizens. What can we do working for yourself? There's no better way to live than to eat and grow your own food. So that's something that we may have forgotten that's always been a part of our heritage, even going back to the motherland. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what we did, but it's part of just remembering our heritage and focusing on what we've always done. And I think I've almost named every business on 22nd Street except the college that's there, SPC. So I got to give a shout out to SPC, but I think I got anybody except, I might have forgotten Redstone Market, but anybody that I didn't name, I'm sure they'll call me and remind me.
Are they listening to this broadcast?
If I didn't mention your name, there's one that I haven't, call me in, but I'll say it on the way out. Oh, Keys Cake. And if you want to, on Sunday, you get something to eat at Keys Cake or J&F Crab.
Oh, where is that?
That's on in Miss Stewart's building off of right across from Job Corps. Next to Dazio.
Oh,
Art
yeah, that
Gallery.
strip there. Okay.
You know where the MGA sculpture is in Carrie Janice building right there in the.
Yes, I know you're talking about the cupcakes or something. Yeah. A question I have: what time does the activity start on Thursdays?
That usually starts 6:30.
6:30 till what? Just till
11.
To 11? Oh, okay. Okay. So, if you wanted some more people to come out and support the businesses on Thursday evening, let me have you give a shout out to them to invite them to that.
Well, on Thursday there are vendors there, and the vendors vary from week to week. But if you're in the area on Thursdays, I think it's Grown Folks host the party, and Advantage Village Academy, I think, is one of the sponsors. And if it's not, they'll call me and tell me no, we're not. So sorry about that.
Grown Folks St. Pete?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think they're one of the sponsors of Thursdays.
Okay, no wonder I saw Jeff there. He seemed to be so happy. No wonder.
Yeah. So, they didn't tell me not to say it, so I guess I'll say it, but yeah.
Well, before we go to commercial break, Miss Veatrice, anything else that you like for the radio listening audience to know about Deuces Live, what's going on, or anything that you think you forgot to mention earlier?
Well, July 22nd, that's 22nd, Soul on the Deuces, we're having a street festival. July 22nd from 5 to 10, there'll be 2 or 3 stages, vendors, a car show. One of our sponsors, Habitat for Humanity, are going to be building plant boxes. So we just encourage people. We're hoping to have hair braiding, So we just encourage people to come out and shout at us and enjoying what's going on in the Deuces. We encourage everybody. All they need to do is just really show up. Something for everybody.
Well, you heard it right here from Miss Veatrice Farrell, Miss Deuces Live operational
program manager who reports to a board. I got to get shout out to the board.
All righty. Well, we'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. You're going to take a little break here. You be blessed until we return. Thank you.